Best Bites Forever.
Hi everyone, it's Chef Alicia with bestbitesforever.com, and today we're making pumpkin pecan bread pudding with a sherry cream sauce. I'm going to start this recipe off today by whisking together 5 whole eggs. Once those are nice and mixed around, I'm going to add in 2 cups of half and half, and you can also use cream for this if you would like it to be just a little bit richer, or you could also use milk if you'd like it to be just a little bit lower in fat. The next thing that I'm adding in is a 15-ounce can of pumpkin, and you are more than welcome to roast your own pumpkin if you have that kind of time. God bless you, go for it, and put your own pumpkin in there. But I'm not, I'm using canned, and I'm just going to whisk this until it's really well combined in my egg and half mixture. Once you have that pumpkin completely mixed in, we're going to add in 1 cup of brown sugar, and I'm using a light brown sugar here, but dark brown is also fine. And then there are my spices. So the spices that I just added in there were nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, cloves, and also some mace, and I especially love the flavor of the mace in this bread pudding. Once you get your spices nice and whisked in there, it's time to move on to our vanilla, and I love that Nielsen Massey vanilla bean paste. If you've never tried it, you definitely should. It has a really deep, rich flavor to it, and it is super delicious. The next thing I'm going to do is pour that mixture that we just now made over top of some cubed bread. I'm using a French loaf here, but you can use other types of bread as well. Italian works really well, challah works really well, and really quite a few others. The next thing I'm adding to this is some roasted pepitas, which is roasted pumpkin seeds, and then also some golden raisins, and these are jumbo golden raisins, not the little wimpy kind, but the big old juicy kind, because they're yummy. And now I'm just going to be super gentle and fold all of those ingredients together. You don't want to stir, and you don't want to be too rough, because you'll tear up your pretty little bread cubes and it won't be beautiful when you're all done. And now I'm going to pour the entire mixture into a pan, which I have buttered. You can also use cooking if you would like to, but I like to use the butter because it's just that tiny little bit of extra flavor that you get around the edges. So I'm just pouring here, and again, I'm trying to be pretty gentle with everything. I don't want to tear up my pretty little bread cubes. And then I'm just going to spread everything over to the edges and flatten it down so that it's nice and neat, and try to get everything as even as possible so that it bakes evenly also. And now I'm going to move on to my crumb topping. This is like the super easiest bread topping in the world, and all I'm doing is mixing together some butter, brown sugar, and pecans. You can make an attempt at doing this with like a spoon or a fork or whatever if you want to do it that way, but I like to just grab it with my hands and use the smooshing technique. No, just seriously, grab it with your hands and mash it all together. It's way easier than doing it with a spoon or fork, and it'll go much faster this way also. When you're all done having fun getting your hands dirty and mixing up your topping, go ahead and grab your pumpkin bread pudding, which we have in the pan waiting for us. Sprinkle a nice even layer of your crumb topping on top of your bread pudding, and once you have this all done, and once your bread pudding has also been sitting in the pan for about 20 minutes, then we're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, and it's done when a toothpick inserted into the middle comes out clean. During the last 5 minutes or so of the baking is when I like to start my sherry cream sauce. So we're going to start off by melting some butter, and then I'm going to add some sugar and just stir that in a little bit. And once I get the sugar stirred in a little, I'm going to add some sherry into the mix. I'm going to cook this over medium-low heat until all of the sugar dissolves, which takes right around 5 to 7 minutes. Just kind of depending on your stove and what you're doing. And make sure that you stir it every few minutes. Just make sure it's not sticking to the bottom or burning or whatever. 5 to 7 minutes later, when you have all of the sugar dissolved, go ahead and add in a 1/4 cup of half and half and just stir it as you're adding it. And that is it for the sauce. It's just a really easy sauce. And if you'd like, you can leave this on your stove on low heat just to sit there until you're ready to serve your bread pudding. And when you're ready to serve it, there it is. And I just cut mine into a little triangle piece, and I'm ladling a little bit of that beautiful sherry cream sauce right over the top. If you would like to get the full recipe, please join me at my website, bestbitesforever.com. And thank you for joining me, everyone. Happy cooking.
bestbitesforever.com